So welcome to my video blog discussing the integration of multimedia in education. It's easier today than ever before to use multimedia in the classroom. But first, let's discuss what multimedia is and what you should do to incorporate it to your lesson, and how students can benefit from using multimedia. So what is multimedia? So I remember the days of chalk and board or instructional materials out of colored papers. Now, most of us in the school uses smart TVs and projectors. Geotools.com define multimedia as computer-based interactive communication process that incorporate text, graphics, and video and animation. Examples of multimedia available in today's world are slideshows like PowerPoint with embedded video computer simulations, talking books, and hypermedia. So what is hypermedia? Okay. So let's take this example from the web. Okay, I've searched it. So I'm going to show you how hypermedia is used. Okay, let's follow along with the video. So I'm going to play it.
To begin, let's actually take a look at what we mean by a hypertext presentation. I'm going to launch the PowerPoint, and you'll notice as I'm clicking on the slide, nothing seems to be happening. So I'm going to click here, which says click to start. Now watch my cursor. That hand again, and I click to start, and I'm presented with some problems. 1 plus 1 is what? Why, it's 3. Oh no, I'm wrong. Click here to try again. So there it is 5. No, I'm wrong again. Let's try this again. It's 2. Hey, I got it right. Okay, now I'm going to try the next question. Answer this question. Answer this problem. 2 plus 2 is what? So you get an idea of what's going on there. It's really a self-guided lesson. Now there's some good and bad about creating a hypertext presentation. The bad part, let's cover the bad part first. The bad part is it's very time consuming to create. There's a lot of front loading.
Okay, that's just one example of hypermedia. Okay, so we can use hypermedia. For example, you can use also web quiz to do your quiz or activities or assignments assigned to your students. Okay, so let's now proceed. So why should you use multimedia in the classroom? Okay, I'll just fix my PowerPoint. Where am I now? Okay, there you go. So why should you use multimedia in your classroom? So there are five which I've searched, which are the common reasons why should we use multimedia in the classroom. Okay, first is mobility. Okay, so we are in a world on the go. So cell phones, iPads, and laptops are in the hands of vast majority of adults, quickly becoming the primary means by which we communicate. Okay. In fact, for cell phones, most of the communication among students happen not with the actual phone, but rather with text messaging. So learning can happen anytime, anywhere with these devices. For homework, rather than having your students complete a worksheet, have them watch a video revolving around a specific lesson and come prepared to discuss it the next day in class. Another reason is individualize. Okay? So multimedia resources can help you meet the needs of students. Your visual learners may learn best with a short video, while your auditory learners may prefer an audio clip or podcast, and your bodily kinetic learner may succeed with an online interactive. In each case, the same topic could be covered but each student would work with his or her strengths to maximize learning. And then the third is collaborative. Okay. So blogs, social networking sites, and wikis allow students to interact with and teach each other, not only within their own school but with learners across the country and the world. As well, on top of that, sites like Twitter can be an invaluable professional development tool for other teachers and experts to gain insights into the latest trends, lesson plans, and ways to integrate technology into your curriculum. Fourth one is flexibility. Back in the day, you were married to your textbook, and if there are something you thought would help elaborate a specific concept or lesson, it could be extremely difficult to find a way to implement it to your class. Today, the world is at your fingertips. You can have your students research online, bring experts into your classroom with podcasts or ICN sessions, display interactive models, find apps relevant to your lessons on smartphone, and have your students design something that is real and meaningful. And lastly, it is global. Okay? Making school global competitive was a theme that was explored in great detail at the Iowa Education Summit this past July. By connecting your students to a global community, they can learn about new cultures and countries in authentic ways. Additionally, multimedia will help broaden your students' view of the world, preparing them to integrate with a broader community in an increasingly collaborative global market. Through my research and in article by Lia Lin, I read the most persuasive point to incorporate multimedia into your lesson. There are higher student satisfaction and motivation and classes that use multimedia materials versus that don't. That's enough reason for me. That's exactly what I want from my students.